Greetings, everyone. Alpha Magnus here. Just going over a couple things that have been bothering me recently in the action figure community. Figured I'd bring it up here. So, I have been collecting toys for a while. Excuse the empty empty shelves behind me. I am currently packing for moving purposes. But here's the thing. One of the things I haven't packed yet, up there is my Unicron. That is my Haslab Unicron. And that's what we're here to talk about today. So, Haslab. I've seen a lot of people going left and right. No one's really explaining this to the common person, so I figured I might as well. Haslab, or Mattel Creations, I think a few other companies might do it as well. It's crowdfunding. So essentially, if I'm a person who wants to make a figure or something, a video game, whatever, I can come to the fans and say, hey, I need help making this. Give me X amount of money. You will get one as well. Sometimes you don't get one at all. But the idea is that we are paying for the product before it comes to us. It's not a pre-order, because a pre-order means that they're going to make it whether you pre-order it or not. It's not about case quantity. It's usually a made-to-order item, like that Unicron was. They have not re-released that, just like they said they wouldn't. I purchased it because I love Transformers. I also got the Victory Saber that's coming. So I've backed 2 Haslab products. I've purchased multiple things from Mattel Creations. I don't have any of those around currently. But regardless, I am speaking this as a consumer, as a customer of this as well. It's not like I'm just spouting it out and I've never touched anything here. Also purchased many other products, if you can see here. So we got the Titan figures. I kept those out on purpose because I wanted to make this video. So recently, Hasbro has done some crazy stuff. Mattel has also done some crazy stuff. So let's talk about that. You're a large corporation. You can make these things no matter what. That's not even an argument. Your billion-dollar corporations can make these things right here, including this guy. They can make them. They can make them easy. It'll cost them some money. They will have to fork that up and hope that they make it back and hope that retailers will do it. But I've been hearing a lot of misinformation from both sides. I've worked in retail. I know how this works. I worked at Walmart, and one time I scanned one of those, not air hogs, but those foam planes, and I could actually see how much like Walmart paid for it. It was like 26 cents. It was like nothing. Not literally 26 cents, but it was like $1.25 or something, ridiculously low, and they were selling it for $40. So there is there's an amount that the actual item costs to make. There's an amount that they will charge to retailers so that they make their money, the initial place, and then the retailers will then charge more as the manufacturer's suggested retail price goes by. Now, that doesn't usually count things like shipping and stuff, so the bigger the item, the more the shipping is going to cost. There's many different levels of stuff on there. But what you got to look at is Hasbro has had numerous ones. This, I believe, was a $600 item. It was one of the more expensive things that I've purchased. Whereas these 2 guys who are almost the same size, were only like 100, 150. And I'm going to get into it. This is not I'm against Haslab. I'm for Haslab. I've done both, and I've seen problems. And the problems lie in CEOs. Honestly, the old CEO came in. He was the guy who was buying all the media outlets, which was chef's kiss. Beautiful idea. You own Power Rangers. We should be making Power Rangers. We should not be letting someone else be the one who decides how good our product is that we're going to sell. I get it. I don't think everyone gets that. I don't think even the people in your own company get that. But I get what he was doing. He is passed on. So when he died, they hired a new CEO who is wiping the slate clean, which is what CEOs do, which is always the wrong choice for a CEO to do. That is not what you want your CEOs doing, is deleting everything previous. It's the same thing that happens in the United States with presidents, probably in other countries as well. I'm in here, I'm wiping everything out. Did you look and make sure that it wasn't something good first? It drives me crazy. So this new CEO takes Haslab, which was put through to solve a problem. That problem was they made this guy. They made this guy. Scorponok and Trypticon. On the other side, I have the other Titans. They made those. They sold some. Retailers were like, we didn't sell well enough of those. So they ended up at Ollie's. I believe I got Trypticon for about $45. I actually think I paid full price for Scorponok, but my Fort Maximus I got for $35 at Ollie's. So everyone who's saying Haslab doesn't need to exist, you're wrong. These are Generation 1 characters that people want. They wanted figures of it, and you put it out at $150, and they did not bite on that $150. Or, like a normal person, they just said, I don't have the money right now, 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 and then it eventually went nowhere. Because what you'll notice is when these things disappear off of toy shelves, they suddenly sell on places like Big Bad Toy Store and Entertainment Earth. They rarely does those two sites have to clearance things out. I think they might have done a sale on the Black Zarak. I don't even have that yet. It's a secondary character to me, so I'm not going to go crazy for it. But do you get it? Do you get why Haslab needs to exist? Because if they'd have just said, for $200, the people who want this can get this. It is the only time. You're putting a finite time into that. You got 45 days to purchase this item, to put money towards it. And if we make the amount, that is the amount we make. There is a purpose there. There is also a lack of transparency with that company, with Hasbro. In saying, we need, let's just say, this $10 Funko Pop, we cannot make at retail for whatever reason. And I'm just spitballing numbers here. None of these numbers are backed up by fact at all. But if it takes me $2 as the person who makes this thing, cost me $2 to make this, we're going to sell it to retailers. Well, we're not going to do it at $2. That's what charities do. They don't make money. Well, they do, but we're not going to get into that. So we're going to sell it for $3 or $4. So $4 goes to Walmart's, goes to Target's, goes to everybody else. That, then there's a manufacturer's suggested retail price, which is $10. And then these used to be $10. I don't know what they are now because I don't buy them often. And if I do buy them, I buy them on clearance because they're Funko Pops. And they're usually just for gifts for people who you only... I know you like Harry Potter, and here's this thing. Here's Doc Brown. You like that thing? So this one I purchased because I actually wanted the clock tower set that came with it. That's why this guy's being used as an example. So Doc Brown here, $10. All right. You say this Trypticon here is $10. It costs $2 to make. In that manufacturer's suggested retail price, there is a shipping to you cost. So that is taken quite a bit out. The bigger the item, the more it's going to cost to ship. Are we all still here? Please leave comments below if you have any questions on any of this. Because I dealt with it from the manufacturing side. I worked at a factory where we had to manufacture things and we had to purchase things and see if they were worth going here to there. we then shipped it out to other places who paid for our product. A lot of times it was not a one factory thing, so 6 factories shipped to us. We combined them, we tested them, and then we sent them out to the actual person who's going to use them. In that, there are costs and benefits, and you have to say, am I even making money on this? And what Hasbro, what Mattel, what Todd McFarlane, his toy company, has been doing is they do that cost-benefit analysis every time that they put out a figure. Most of the time, figures, not so much, but that's when you run into, I wish I had one around that really worked for it. Is this worth putting out? Did we reuse some parts to save some money? And people get angry about that, reusing parts. Haslabs do not reuse parts, so there is no money to be saved on a Haslab. So they are putting this out one time. All right? So you think, all right, well, I'm going to save my money for something else. Fine. That is the whole point of these Haslabs, is they say, Unicron, I think it had 8,000 pieces. If they didn't hit 8,000, they could not make money on this. They are not going to make this and lose money on it. It did more than that. And there's other issues with Haslab's things, which I might get into in this video. I may not. It depends on how long I go. So we've covered that. That's how the crowdfunding works. That's why dollars and cents do matter. And that is why crowdfunding is a thing that needs to happen in the toy, especially the toy collecting community, because we won't get these figures unless they're actually worth the money to do so. Now, I'm a bit lo-fi when it comes to my channel. I would love to be able to bring you guys the best quality videos, but I am one human being who has other things that he's got to do. So I don't always have time to edit and things like that. So bear with me. I'm going to try to get this. This is maddening because I did charge this iPad. So we've gone through the costs and benefits. Now let's see what people's perceptions are. There's a perception of people who think that this Unicron should have been on store shelves for $150. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. The amount of people who want a giant Unicron that big, and the amount of people who are willing to pay for a giant Unicron that big, and the amount of people who can afford to pay for that Unicron that big, it's a half-life of probabilities. Most likely, and this is the sad thing, I think Unicron hit at like 1,600, 1,200, or 12,000, 16,000 people. I don't have the numbers. That's what I was going to pull up on the iPad, and it is not working. I could wait and do stuff, but I got other things to talk about. So if you look up there, it's a big figure. It's about 2.5 feet, I think. I think it's 2 feet, 2.5. It's a lot of plastic. It's a lot of things that, now mind you, I think they should re-release this in the other colors and just make it cost more. That's my personal opinion. That is where I differ from the community. There are 2 repaints to Unicron here that are what are called. One of them is a lucky draw, which is a thing in Japan that they do, which is exactly like Haslab, and people don't like to admit it. Or Mattel Creations. They could re-release this in the darker green, the version I believe that was in Cybertron or Energon. They had a version of this figure that was ridiculously colored. If I have time, I'll edit that in the video. We'll find out. But the other one was a lucky draw, which I think was all clear, translucent green. They could re-release this mold. They said they would not release this figure, right? And it was $8,000 to make it worth their money. Well, what if they dropped it down to $4,000 and doubled the price? that almost sounds like an option. So, and the reason I say that is there are fewer people who are going to want the green one. There are way fewer people, but there are people. And then you take the lucky draw one that came out, make it $2,000 and quadruple the price. There are ways that they can make money on this without having to be crazy about it. I apologize because I'm actually it loaded. Let's see here. So let's take up Unicron Repaints. Let's just see if that works. They had a couple other versions of that Unicron as well, but I'm just trying to find those two. So there's, it's like a black, orange, and red one. I'm trying to find a picture of it out of the box. I know 60 probably has pictures of it. Hey, there's one. So this is the Encore Unicron, I believe is what they call it. Let's view the image straight up. And there you go. It is this mess of a thing. So it is all green. They can make money doing that. And me personally, I do not think that violates the trust of the people. Instead of doing that, though, I love you TFU info, but you won't let me directly link it to stuff. That drives me crazy. Fun side note, I will be selling my Armada Unicron at TFCon at the end of next month. So here's the other one. That's the other color. It's an all black one. Some people just pay money for an all black one. Like they don't care. They got that cash. They're gonna go for it. All right. So we've gotten that part over with. The Unicrons are go. Now you hear from other guys who say that Haslab is not a necessity. I know Retro Blasting has gone over and talked about many things, most of which are true. Some of are just opinions. That's cool. But I think Haslab and Mattel Creations are a needed thing. Where they aren't needed is when the amount of cost is being told by management. CEOs should not be saying, hey, we charged a lot for this one, let's charge more for the next one. If you say that you need to have 20% margin, let's say 20 to 40% profit on this item, that's fine. That then says every item needs to make 20 or 40% in order for us to make money on it. What the current management is doing is popping up and saying, hey, we charge $600 for this Unicron. Why don't we charge $600 for everything and just give them less every time? That's why we're in this situation we're in. They recently had the Robbie Reyes figure taken off of the current Haslab, which was the Engine of Vengeance. It's not a Dodge Charger. Why would we pay for a license that people want us to when we can just call it the Engine of Vengeance and we make more monies? It's greed. It's corporate greed. It's as simple as that. At $200 with one figure, I don't need any other ones. I would have liked to have the Robbie Reyes in a full Ghost Rider mode. $200, stretching maybe to $250, maybe. But that's like if they gave some real cool stuff with the things. Maybe I would have backed it. Now it's $350. So if you back today and they make exactly enough, which I think was 8,000, we can actually check it. Let's do that. Let's go to HasbroPulse.com. So if you actually make, if it makes the amount that they've talked about, boom, Boom. So if they, it's 9,000. So if they make 9,000 backers to this project for the Robbie Reyes, they got 32 days to hit that. They're about at 6,000. What happened was that they kicked through and had an early bird. The early bird was actually the human version, pre-morph, whatever you want to call it, transformation. Pre-transformation, Robbie Reyes. It was the same figure with gray pants instead of black. If they'd have hit that in 2 weeks, I think it was, everyone who backs this is going to get that figure. Well, 2 problems, maybe more, with that. That's not how early birds work at all. Like, that's not how they're supposed to work. An early bird for every other crowdfund that is not a direct pre-order type, the people who backed you early get it when it does back. And I get there is a to and fro on that subject. But how it's supposed to work is if I'm going to back this project and I say, hell yeah, it's week 1, and if I back now and it gets funded, I get an extra figure that the people who waited don't get, hell yeah, I'm going to do that the first thing. But that's not usually the deal with it. Usually you either save a little bit of money or you get a little thing. You don't get something that's massive. So how this should have worked, and this is Captain Hindsight here. If we hit 4,500 backers out of 9,000 by this date, early bird backers, meaning that 4,500, actually anybody before that date, as long as we hit 4,500, gets a full figure with the human head. Anybody after that point only gets the human head. You don't get a full figure. So that means they have to make 4,500 or more full Robbie Reyes figures for anyone in that early bird time. Anyone afterwards, you just get a swappable head. Sorry, guys, you missed out. You either didn't find out about it early enough, or you just didn't back early enough, which that's a whole nother issue that I have with Haslabs, which I think they fixed recently. But for the first 6 Haslabs, they didn't mention back today, pay on the day it backs. Like, you got 45 days to get this money. You could back today with $0. You just got paid for it on the last day. They have not been doing that, and it drives me crazy. I think they did it on his tank, and guess what? It passed real quick because everyone was like, hell yeah, click, 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 click. Let's do that, his tank. It's day 1. Why wouldn't I do it today? It's going to cost me the same today as if it cost me then. I don't pay until the day it backs, if it backs at all. If it doesn't back, I don't get charged. The mentality of not backing early is stupid. If you're planning on doing it, if you think you can get the money, just back it. Guess what? On day 29 out of 30, if you decide you don't want it, you just back out. It doesn't hurt you. You didn't pay for it. You didn't pay anything. People have a lot of misconceptions, and it needs to be addressed. This one, I think they might have mentioned it, but it wasn't as blatant as the G.I. Joe guys were like, you can back today, and you will not get charged until the day that it backs, if it backs at all. And if it doesn't back, you get $0. Like, they were super clear about that. And guess what? They did the best. They had the best one, in my opinion, thus far. There are issues with that Haslab as well. But this one, they're going off of the, we're going to hide our tears. If you back this, you'll get the back head of this guy. Back early. We want this to back in 2 weeks, no matter what. No matter what, we want it in 2 weeks. That's not a good tactic, guys. What you should do is say, here's our Engine of Vengeance. Here's this early bird full figure if you're one of the early bird backers. Just the head if you're not. If we hit that goal, that's fine. Here are all the tiers. This is what you're going to get with it. You're going to get Mephisto. You're going to get Damien Darkhold. You're going to get all the extras. This is all of them, and that is all there will be. I'm fine with that. The His Tank did that. The His Tank, it backed super quick, and we hit all the goals. And people were just backing it just to see what the goals were, which you shouldn't be doing. I mean, it's fine if you do, if you're a person doing it, but you shouldn't have to. You should just say, here's this, here's all the stretch goals. We're going to go work on some other stuff for now. Like, just do it like that. It's not that difficult. It is not that difficult to just tell people the plans you have. Now, if you don't have the plans and you're already launching it, that's another issue. But we're not going to get into that. I'm doing a... So let's just peel the onion here. I'm doing a GoFundMe right now. So that link will be in below. For an independent toy line that I'm doing myself. And I have weighed the options. I have said, I need to get a website, and I need to get the names. There's 2 names I'm going for, trademarked. Then I'm going to launch. That's it. Because once I launch the Kickstarter, I'm going to say, this figure, this is not the figure. It's a Masters of the Universe style barbarian type thing. But I'm going to say, this figure costs this much. If I hit this goal, I'm going to access another variation of that figure. I'm going to have 2 figures going, and we're going to do it there. Because a lot of people don't do the Kickstarters like this. They do it more of a, if we hit 9,000 backers on Robbie Reyes here, then you can add money to back more things. And then those things have their own separate goals. Which I think, honestly, is how this should have gone down. But Hasbro has been doing, since this is the problem, Hasbro isn't doing this on Kickstarter. They're not doing it on GoFundMe. They're not doing it on any other site. They're doing it on their own site. So there is no one who is just oversighting all of them. That has become obvious in the last couple of Haslabs, that it is the actual team who's doing it that is being just thrown about and doing whatever. They should have, I'm Billy McFarts, and this is the Haslab. And I'm going to sell you this product. Let's talk to the guys who made it. That's how it should be going, but instead they're having the actual people who make the figures do it, and there's problems there. You do have personalities that need to... you need to have a personality who's trying to sell you these, because guess what? If I watched... Wheel of Fortune, Price is Right, and every week it was a different guy hosting, I don't know what I'm going to get. Like, this guy, the guy who's hosting, knows what he has to do every time. After a while, he's just like, spin the wheel, do this, do that. I know this. I could do this in my sleep. Well, what you're getting is this guy's fumbling around, not knowing what they're doing every time. And if this was their first time doing it, I would say, okay, the Sky Barge. Jabba's sail barge, those guys, hands up. The first people at I don't think it was Mattel Creations. I think it was Maddie Collector who did the Castle Grayskull. That was the first time anyone had thought to do that. Bravo, you did a good job. You charged. I want to say you charged appropriately for what you were getting. They were dealt with whatever, like, here, maybe this is how it goes. There needs to be someone whose job is to do that. Hey, I'm Billy McFarts, and here's the next Haslab. So in that, let's look at how they could have done the Engine of Vengeance a little better. I still think it's going to fund, but I don't think you're going to hit all of the stretch goals. And let's talk about those. So, the first stretch goal, which is the only one that has been announced out of 4, they said all 4 of them are going to be figures of demonic persuasion. So, let's say this. At 9,000 backers, you're going to get the Engine of Vengeance, which is a $350 for a light-up, swappable part, 1/12 vehicle. It should be 1/10, I believe, because Marvel are... No, 1/12. I think G.I. Joes are a little bigger. Anyway, for an upsized car, $350 is way more than that should be. Even if you take away the $25 that they're currently charging for the Hasbro Marvel Legends, that's still, how much is that? $325? $325 is still too much for that vehicle. And we'll get into that next. But how I think they should have done it was 9,000 backers, we unlock Mephisto. Mephisto is unlocked at 12,000 for everyone who backed it at no additional cost. You get, so anyone who backs this $350 thing gets Mephisto. Once you hit 12,000, it should then open up for anybody to order that Mephisto character. And the reason being is, listen to me here, that Engine of Vengeance should be worth $350 without a single extra tier. Let's end it there. It is not. It is blatantly not worth $350. It's maybe $200, maybe two max, $225 if you want to include the figure. And the reason is you can get large vehicles that have some of those here or there. And I'm going to go over those in another video next. I'm not going to go into them here because I think I'm going to buy those vehicles. If you look at Shartimus Prime and quite a few other guys who lead after that, he's just the only one that I happen to follow. Articulated Ninja, he also has videos on multiple, like too many to even list, G.I. Joe vehicles that are of that start around 50 to like 150. You can actually go right now and just look up diecast 1/12, 1/10 vehicles, and you can find a bunch of them for max 200. And these are diecast. They're highly articulated. The doors open. They got rubber tires. Everything is legit on these things. Like, it's crazy how much you can get value-wise for that. And these are licensed. These are actual things. The diecast ones are actually licensed. So it's like, they're licensed, shipped, they're at the store today. Weird. I'm just gonna tell you, it's real weird. So I actually found one, and I'm gonna post it on here. So anyway, the Haslabs should have just had it where at $350 you get a free figure. Mephisto, he's let's just say he's a $30 version. Then everybody else who backs, who just wants to get Mephisto, it's unlocked. We're making that mold. So you can order more. You can order a second one if you want for resale. So you don't have that limit of there's only 12,000 of them available. You can make 1 billion of them if you wanted, if enough people ordered them. Now those ones probably should be taken out the day of. I'm just going to be honest with you. Those should be taken out the day of that. Any of the extra pre-orders, not the people who backed it. Backers, no. You get last. Then you unlock Damien Darkhold or whatever character. I can't remember what his name is. I think that was from DC. I can't remember what I think maybe that is it. I don't remember. Anyway, you unlock the Son of Satan. You unlock Lilith. You unlock whoever it is. Free for backers, paid for everybody else. That allows the people who actually wanted it to get it. And it also adds a value proposition to your initial back. But what they're doing instead is what I like to call baking in the rewards. And a lot of Kickstarters do it, and they usually get hit with like, this is too much. Like, why are you charging this much for it? But Hasbro, they don't get hit with that. I mean, there are people who call them out on it, like me and other people, but you're baking in that cost. So what baking in means is let's say you got a cake, and it costs you $10 to make a cake. You got the eggs, you got the milk, you got everything to mix the cake. You got to bake it. It takes time. You got to pay someone to make that. Cake comes out. It's a $10 cake. let's charge $50 for that cake and say, here's a cupcake that comes with it. We'll give you spoons. No additional cost. That's the early bird. If you order that cake right now. You want this $50 cake that only costs $10 to actually that we should be selling it to you for? If more people order cakes, we're going to give you another cupcake and another cupcake. So by the end, how is that a $10 cupcake? No, it's like a $1 cupcake. So you've just spent $10 on a cake and $4 additional dollars on let's just get even $2.50. So you're actually spending another $10 on that cake. You still overpaid by $30 on a cake and 4 cupcakes. Do you get it yet? Do you get the problem? They're baking them in. They're charging more for an item that wasn't worth that price and saying, oh, but it comes with this. It comes with this. And what you'll notice, Unicron here was $600. You know what happened when he funded? Nothing. There were no stretch goals for that guy. There were no extra tiers. He was Unicron. That's what you got. Oh, double the people backed? Cool. You get the same thing. It didn't play out for them as well as they wanted it to. So they adjusted. They're doing things. They then made it where, you order this and you get an extra little guy. I think it was Mandalorian's ship, the Razor Crest. Got an extra guy. You got this. You got this. You got this. Cool. Okay, so you're adding little bits if we hit goals. That's cool. That's throwing us a bone. Then they threw us a bone. So the Rancor came out, and they're like, hey, for $300 or whatever it was, look at this super tier we got you. It's a backdrop that's made out of cardboard that we're going to be giving you anyway, because it's the backdrop for the thing. So, but look at this. It's extra. Like, hold it. That's the packaging. Nobody really liked that one. People started backing out. Next one, they're like, wait, guys. Here's some bones you can put along with it. Now you're giving me accessory dressings? Like, this isn't even an additional thing. They did also have a couple other figures, which were all just re-releases of figures that they had. They had Luke Skywalker, Salacious Crumb. They had a lot of things, but they were trying to bake those figures in. And what they had to realize is that people didn't want those figures baked in. They wanted new figures. Okay. We thought we could just shove old garbage in here and you'd be happy with that. People who are willing to spend $300+ on a figure because they don't have it yet are less likely to want it when you are giving them something they've already purchased again. Yeah. So now it's evolved. We've had numerous Haslab since then. I also did the Star Saber, and it was pretty cheap, so I'm fine with it. I almost did too, because I'm like, this is too cheap. It was the appropriate price for a retail purchase, and it should have been out on retail, but Star Saber is not a character that a lot of people will know. He's a Japanese character for the most part, and unless you're really deep in the Transformers, you're gonna be like, this is an Optimus Prime. This is not my leader of the Autobots. I love Victory. Victory's nuts. If you're into goofy shows, check out the sub and dub for Victory. It's crazy. That show's nuts. But Star Saber's awesome. It's like a guy who fits in a guy who fits in a guy. It's like a nesting doll of Transformers that eventually turn into this giant thing. I bought the giant thing. Guess what? And it wasn't too expensive. I think it was like $179. But they baked in parts of that should have been with it. And I think we got 2 additional figures, and they were like this big, so it wasn't anything crazy. But there was a shield, a sword, a stand, like some things that should have been in there. But guess what? The value proposition was there, which is a good and bad thing. And Retro Blasting goes over this. It is the double-edged sword of promoting something you like, is that they will eventually take advantage of you. And the Engine of Vengeance is that taking advantage of. And let's get into that. So, the current one that everyone likes to talk about, which is not one of the ones that I'm going to be purchasing, because I didn't really like the way this looks. I do like it for other things, though. And I'm going to be honest, Hasbro doing so bad on this almost made me buy a Bratz doll toy car, as well as the neutrinos from NECA. So good job, Hasbro. You almost made me spend almost $200 on someone else's stuff. As dumb as that is. So, it is this guy. I believe the red one is the one currently available, and they are re-releasing this. I think it released for $35 when it first came out, but now it's about $50, which is whatever. Inflation does exist. Let's not do it. It's this. This car here fits these giant Bratz dolls, but it also fits Hasbro pretty much 1/12 figures to, what was the other one? I think it was the 1/8 figures even fit in this thing. Like, it's pretty nuts how huge of a figure. You can't get a 1/6, I don't believe. It's a little too big, but that's pretty good. The first one came with a working AM/FM radio in it, but it does have lights. I'm not too sure on sounds, but it does have lights. And lights are all you're getting with the Engine of Vengeance. Keep an eye on this video. I'm going to do some reviews of the other two that I found that are just insane what they are. Like, what? Huh? How is this available for $50? One of them was $55. And the things that they do are nuts. Like, what? That's crazy that does that. So keep an eye out, like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because I will be doing some crazier stuff. This video is getting a little long, so I'm gonna try to flatline it here. My feelings is yes, there are people in the toy tuber community that are shilling this and saying, this is great cost, I love it, I'm gonna buy two. They're just not. They must have a lot of money. They must not care about their money. Eat the rich on that one. But there's also the other side where people are just like getting almost violently angry about this. I went in and said, I'm watching the video. Okay, cool. We got a car. Oh, look, the wheels pop out. Comes with some lights. Got some stuff. Cool. By the time they showed the figure that was included, I was like, all right, I'd pay $200 for that. Okay, wait another 15-20 minutes. Click. $350? I'm out. That's how much effort I took into it. They're not going to change that price for me. There is no figure from Marvel Legends that they could add that would make me want that. I care 0% about Mephisto. And get this, I love Ghost Rider, and it's kind of weird. I have one Ghost Rider figure. I don't know where it is. I'm packed up. It was an older one. But like, I've seen some of the other ones, and this is the thing. This figure made me want to collect a bunch of Ghost Riders. But now that I'm not going to get it, I have no urge to collect all those other Ghost Riders. It is super weird what is going on with this. So, for me at least, I looked at this Robbie Reyes and says, oh, we're going to get a Robbie Reyes. I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know if that equates to what the comic book said. I've heard it's pretty close, but there's some things they changed, of course. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. For $200, I'd get that figure. Well, I wonder what the stretch goals are gonna be. They're like, oh, it's not another vehicle. I'm like, I didn't need another vehicle per se, but Ghost Rider is one of those ones that you should probably include the vehicles. And if they'd have said, and as I said, if they'd have been like, hey, this is $200. If it hits, we're gonna unlock another one. And you get Johnny Blaze, you get Danny Ketch, you get all the other Ghost Riders. as unlockable tiers, and with diminishing returns, of course. You'd want to start with your Johnny Blazes, your Danny Ketches, and then move all the way down to, I don't know, Speed Demon. Like, whatever you can get. I'm sure they wouldn't be able to do that because of Marvel, but Todd McFarlane might do it. Who knows? We didn't get into that. Todd McFarlane then says, he goes nuts. We're just gonna call him the big balls, Todd McFarlane. Anyway, so you hit this point where it's like, I'm not even gonna bother. I'm not even dipping my toe in that water. Why would I? You've said that the rest of the tiers aren't anything I'm gonna want to collect. I don't care about some demon guy that, I get that he's a big MCU villain, but I'll just wait for the MCU character if that ever shows up. If I care. I don't have a Thanos. I don't have a lot of those ones. I do collect certain Marvel Legends characters. The Pride of the X-Men is one of them. Every time they release a character that fits into that, I buy it. I bought a couple. I bought a Frogman to make into a Toad, even though he doesn't have a frog head. I'm just going to customize it because I doubt they're ever going to make that fat, weird Toad, because I think he only appears in that. So it's one of those deals where it's like, I doubt they're going to make that character, so I'm just going to make it myself. So let's get on to Todd, and that'll be my finisher here. Finish him, fatality. So McFarlane, and I'm probably missing a bunch of stuff, and I may have a second video goes over that. I'm winging it here. This was me. I just watched 6 YouTube videos and got kind of angry about it, so I decided, screw it. We're going to make a video. We're doing this live. McFarlane, Batmobeast. So previously, there was a $250, I believe, Mattel Creations Batmobile that was like $250, but it was crazy. It has lights, sounds, smoke. It's remote controlled. The figure inside of the car actually shifts and drives as you're driving. There's mechanics in here. There's tons of stuff. Still $100 cheaper than light up Mick not Charger. Let's see. Oh, that's actually a picture of him with it. That's nuts. So this is the original Batmobeast, which was a covered thing. I did not know this. That thing is huge. That is him holding it in his hands. So it's like this big. I've seen it. And you're thinking, well, that's not going to sell. You'd be wrong. I was in Target shopping for my stuff. I look over. This little kid's like, oh, Dad, look! It's a monster truck. A, monster truck sell. That's Batman. B, Batman sells. Todd knows this. It's a thing. Guess who walked out with a Batmobeast that day that is not remote controlled? It's only $50. Maybe $60 in some areas. So that Batmobeast is ridiculous. It's like the soul of Batman stuck in a car. Whatever. So then I didn't realize this. Boom, boom. That is what it looks like inside. They are just releasing the inside part without the outside part for $50, but it comes with a Batman figure. So Todd McFarlane here, Captain Heavy Undies, he is releasing a one. Now, mind you, this is a little bit of an apples to tangerines to oranges, that's it. It's oranges to tangerines to like it's the same idea. It's just a little bit different. But he's doing it for $50. So he took the cab off and he's including a figure for $50. That is actually a $30, because his prices didn't go up for some reason. It's a $30 Batmobile. I'm probably buying that. Almost out of spite at this point, but that's awesome. That is amazing. So yet again, another company is releasing a $50 one. Now, I do know that he owns all of his stuff. He's not ordering it and shipping it from China and things like that, which we should come back and do. I would love to work at a toy factory in the United States. But you'd have to pay me like $20 an hour at minimum, which they don't like doing. And that's why they pay someone a nickel in China and then spend $19.95 to ship it over here, because that makes sense. Let's not get into that today. I'm going to try to keep this video under an hour for those watching. So anyway, check out other toy tubers. Do not just stick with your normal shills. And I call them shills, but kind of shills. Shartimus Prime, I feel like he was the, and I've met him personally. I met him at PowerCon. I feel like there was a point in his tenure where he was gonna do that, and then he picks up the Emperor and throws him down. Like he almost went to the dark side. But in latest things, he's still backing this. If he has the money, screw it. Back it. I don't care. But I just wanted people to know that there's reasons why people are angry, and it's more than just, I don't like that and I don't want you to have it. It's a problem. It is a problem when especially, and this is what I've noticed, is CEOs, they just decide and this is low, like you could search this, look up Hasbro CEO quotes, and the current one, I don't remember his name, Cox, I think it is, of all things, and it's not spelled like COX. He just decided, hey, we can milk these people for more. They'll pay it. Guess what? They're not. They're not paying it. And the reason I could tell you that we're not paying it is that I just went to, mind you, these are both out of the package. I just bought these two figures at more than 50% off. So this is a Black Tom Cassidy, which is an older one, but GameStop has these currently 50% off the yellow sticker. So I got that for $5. I'm using it for custom. I got this guy for $8. This is Marvel's Legion. I needed the head and almost paid literally the day before $15 just for the stupid head. I walk into GameStop and he's on clearance. There are tons of these things on clearance. Ooh, yep. Star-Lord, half off at Target. So I paid the price. I paid less than, so let's get this straight. They might have gotten 5 of these at that store that people bought. I don't even think that many. I think they might have gotten 2. I need this for a custom. Yet again. Follow me if you want to see some customs. Let me know if you'd like to see me making the customs. Some people have said, oh, I'd like to see you stream those. And then I stream them and nobody watches. So why would I keep doing that? That's crazy. Like literally nobody. So the algorithm just screws me. It must be like some subscriber thing, and I don't have many subscribers, so whatever. But this guy is normally $25, and I got it for like $12. So, and what's even funnier is that the other part of the wave, I got two Thors from that wave for $6. So that's even less. Maybe you should just charge $20 for them, and they'd sell better. And they wouldn't end up getting clearanced over and over again. These aren't like, that's Star-Lord. That's like a big character. That's not Frogman or something. Frogman actually sells, which I don't understand that. Like, seriously, they're clearancing Spider-Man here, and he's the #1 guy. Maybe you should just lower the prices. I think there's a $30 Spider-Man figure out now. Future Foundation or something like that. It's just sitting. I've not seen a single person buy it. I want to get the Ned and Peter 2-pack. I'm paying $60 for that. You crazy. So I'm going to wait for that to go on clearance, or I'm just not going to get it. What do I care? It's none of this is a necessity. I know that Marvel Legends collectors are usually the most completionists of the group. And that's all good. I collect 6 toy lines. I don't have time for that. So my final thing, and this is almost predictions. tomorrow, and I'm uploading this like super quick because it's topical. Tomorrow starts Hasbro PulseCon, HasCon. I don't remember what they're calling it. So check it out, Hasbro Pulse. It's where you can get all the things. It's also where they're probably going to announce another Haslab. And the way that they've been doing it is they don't announce a Haslab of a character until one has been delivered. So they didn't really announce Star Saber until or Victory Saber anyway, until Unicrons were pretty much ready to ship or had shipped. I cannot remember. It's been because they don't want to say, hey, buy this next product before you even get the last one. Now, G.I. Joe, they did a little differently because there's a 3.75 and a 6-inch scale. So they just went off in 2 different scales because I don't know if anyone's gotten their Sky Striker yet. But they launched the other one. So I doubt that we're going to get any G.I. Joe stuff for Haslab. No. We could get a Transformer one, which yes or no, we could. Let's actually take a look and make sure I'm not missing anything. They did recently announce Dungeons and Dragons figures, which I pre-ordered all of them, and I do think they are a little bit overpriced. But that is also, let's look it up, Dungeons and Dragons. That is also one of those things where I almost bought a bunch of figures to make those, and I still might do it. So I was going to pay that much no matter what. $25. It's a limited cast. I know some people are like, oh, there's so many characters they could do. No, there's like 10, and I'm done. There's a finite amount of those characters that I am going to purchase, so I am cool getting the finite number. People have said, oh, what if they do a Haslab Tiamat, which is the big 7-headed dragon or whatever it was? Okay, that'd be weird. I don't think they're going to do that. That's entirely a possible thing. Exclusives back in stock. I'm trying to remember. There's like one spot where you can find this. Their site doesn't even announce that it's coming, which is super goofy. Haslab? No. Brands, exclusives, Hasbro Pulse, no, convention exclusives. They make it hard to find the thing anyway. Oh, there it is. It's at the very top. It's a little sliver that you'd miss. All right, so September 30th, October 1st, featuring Star Wars. So I doubt they're going to do another Star Wars Haslab this quick because that Reva lightsaber did terrible and the last Rancor did terrible. So those guys should be licking their wounds. They're definitely not going to do a Marvel. There's a possibility we could get a Nerf Haslab, which I have an idea for that, but that's another day. Fortnite? No. If you go right now, you can find $50. You can get the boat. Unless they're giving you a giant plane to throw your guys out of, which I doubt. Or whatever that bus thing. I don't remember what it is. I don't play Fortnite. It could be a Magic the Gathering one, which, okay. They've done a couple of other things in that respect. Hero Quest, I think, got that. It could be a board game, so cool. Transformers, I don't think so because I don't think anyone's gotten their Victory Sabers, and we are all on edge. Like, is this thing going to turn yellow? Because there's a yellowing white plastic issue going on in Transformers right now, so nobody is going to be backing anything Transformers as long as that goes. G.I. Joe, as I said, no. Avalon Hill, I don't even know what that is. Indiana Jones. We might get Indiana Jones as a Haslab, and not in the way you think. I think it might be the whole line. If that is true, it should have no tiers, and it should just say, if you want this entire line of figures with Indy, Short Round, the whole batch in all of their different variations, this is how much it's going to cost. The only thing I could say would be like a stretch goal would be to get like Nazi figures or something. I'm sure I'm going to get demonetized for saying that word. But it's a theme in that video. So if you look, like, maybe, but I doubt that. But Haslab would allow us to get it because you would not be seeing that on a store shelves. I don't think you're going to see that on a store shelf ever. Possibly that. Not likely, but possibly. Because I feel like they're going to try to push that like they did Ghostbusters. And then something's going to happen with the movie, and then they're going to have them on the wrong thing. These movie things need to be dealt with differently. That's a video for another time. And then starting lineup, unlikely. They haven't even sold it. Like, no one has had one of these figures in their hands, and they're $50 for mind you, probably a 7-inch figure, because most of those guys are huge. But yeah, no one's got them. I doubt they're going to do Haslab for that. My bets are on Power Rangers. And that's not like I got inside information. It's just they haven't done one yet. They own Power Rangers outright. They've released a bunch of mediocre figures with mediocre... The Megazords. The Zords are very, very much mediocre. They have a 6-inch character line that has 7-inch monsters. And instead of giving us 7-inch, just non-transforming, what do you call them? The Zords, like the Lightning Collection are, which is what I want. That's what I want. I want the Megazord that I can have fight my Goldar on a shelf. Instead, you give me a Megazord that's this big. The Goldar, like, it doesn't fit any scale. There's no scales involved here. And this is almost like a wish for a Haslab, which I can get into more detail later. I think it's going to be a command center from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And there's only one thing that I could guess that they would do with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and that is give us civilian clothes. Possibly with characters like Ernie, Bulk, Skull, things like that. And the command center would be there. Boom. It's its own little thing. And then you can put the Rangers in there, and then put the actual Ranger mode versions in there. So you get human versions of the whole Mighty Morphin cast, is what I'm guessing. And they'll get unlocked as they go. So the initial offering will probably be something like, here's the command center. It comes with an alpha as an early unlock, which if you're collecting this line, you probably already have an alpha. And a Zordon. I already have a Zordon. Or maybe it's just a place to put that Zordon, and they're going to re-release him or something like that. And then you can also get, I can't remember her name, but it was the female Ghosty figure that took over for Zordon. You can put her in there as well. That's an unlockable. Then, I think it was during Turbo or something. It's been a while since I've watched those. Then the main Morphin cast, you got all the 5 normal ones. Then you would have Bulk and Skull available. Cat, Rocky, Adam. Why am I forgetting her name? Her real name's Karen Ashley. I don't know. You get all of those characters unlocked as unlockables. This is their human mode. This is their head sculpt on essentially like a reused Marvel Legends or something body with different clothing. And they would use these off the bat, and those figures would then be used for other lines. Because I don't know if you're familiar. If it's made initially for a Marvel Legends, they're not allowed to use it on any other toy line. But if it's made for a toy line and they want to use it in Marvel Legends, that's cool. Weird. It's kind of like Disney Marvel's trademarking only works one way. So if you make it for this, you cannot use it on anything else. But if you use it on something else, then you can use it on ours, and there's no problem. It's weird, like, because there's a lot of characters that use that suit that are not MCU characters. I won't say a lot, but I've seen them. So it's one of those deals where there's some licensing involved, and they cannot sell it as such. Anyway, that's what I think it is. It's going to be a command center with the street clothed Rangers. If they're in super greed mode, which they possibly are, we're going to see the regular Rangers modes. Now, I would also take the movie Rangers, either the new movie or the old Ivan Ooze one. Ivan Ooze would also be awesome, but I think that's a regular release. I think they're going to try to release those figures, but if they give us the same Mighty Morphin cast again in a slightly different repaint, I'm going to flip a table, because that means that someone is in full corporate greed mode. I want to say I probably would back a command center with human, like the street clothes guys. Give me Ernie, give me the juice bar, give me the whole thing. That's something I would get behind. Also, Nerf. Why is Nerf not making the Mighty Morphin weapons? I don't get that. Like, there's literally blasters and swords, and Nerf makes blasters and swords. Somebody at Hasbro, please. I hope I haven't disparaged you enough. Hire me. I don't care. Hire somebody who knows what they're doing. Because at this point, I feel like you've got a few guys that know what they're doing in like the G.I. Joe and definitely the Dungeons and Dragons line. And you got a lot of guys who are phoning it in. And phoning it in does not work when it comes to that. You got Mark Mayer, I think it is, in the Transformer line. Mwah, he knows exactly what he's doing. But then you got other guys who are very tone deaf. And if it's not them doing this, because I know they don't make the prices, some of the products that are coming out are just a little goofy. I see those Fortnite figures selling, but I don't really see the Nerf selling. Yeah, I don't know. This has gone on too long. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you are thinking twice about that $350 Funko Pop that they're releasing. I'm not saying don't back it. I'm saying know that you may only get a $350 car and one figure and a head now, because they backed up and said, "Oh, okay, we'll give you the head," because we spoke with our money. Just know that if it does back, you're going to be getting probably the car and no Mephisto and anything else. Because why would they give you something that they should have just said right off the bat? You know, due to case quantity, we got to do this. No, they're baking them in. Hashtag they're baking them in. I'm Alpha Magnus. Please like, subscribe, comment, and these are toys. See you next time.